Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Lee Southwick and we are tracking a severe thunderstorm warning that's moving into Jacksonville. Right now I am also streaming on Facebook, right Jackson? Yes. Okay, I see that now. Perfect. I'm going to be watching out for your comments, questions, and concerns as well. As we track this severe thunderstorm warning. So a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 4:30 for Duval County. And notice that this is really now moving over the Jacksonville airport. So it's over Nassau County. Really, we were tracking this cell. It was a broken line of thunderstorms back over southeast Georgia, originally way across down towards Folkston. The Folkston storm now moving here, crossed over Hilliard, over Callahan now, and now pushing into Duval County. So this severe thunderstorm warning has the potential of producing winds of 60 miles an hour. So that can cause damage. That means that you can have shingles removed from your roof. Limbs can come down from trees. You can also have trash cans fly down the road. And so with the severe thunderstorm warning, it's always good to treat it similar to a tornado warning by getting away from windows. So of course you want to get inside. We want to get away from windows because when winds are 60 miles an hour, that can cause objects to go flying, projectiles, they can crash through your window and potentially hurt you. So get inside, get into an interior room. We have had some reports coming out now of some winds. Let's see, the Jacksonville International Airport just clocked a wind gust of 51 miles an hour. So very strong wind out there right now associated with this severe thunderstorm warning. Again, so this is a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for those winds of up to 60 miles an hour. It's moving to the southeast at about 10 miles an hour. I do want to try to put a track on this, but notice how it's not a perfectly straight line, so it'll be a little hard to know exactly where it's developing. It's kind of developing on all sides of the radar. That gap right there where it says Jacksonville, that is our radar gap. So the storm's right over it. The radar just can't show what's directly on top of it. But generally speaking, this cell here is moving to the southeast at 10 miles an hour. So I am going to try my best to put a track on this. Because again, it's a little bit of funky shaped, really kind of dips up there. But you know what? Don't look, wait 1 second. I need to change this to 10 miles an hour. So let's move this over. 10 miles an hour to the southeast. So it is heading 4 places like downtown Jacksonville. Look at that. We have another thunderstorm, a severe thunderstorm warning that just popped up too. So first with this cell here over Jacksonville, it could make it to Talleyrand at 4:03, so right now. And then eventually Mandarin at 5:25 p.m. and perhaps Fruit Cove by 5:39 p.m. I'm going to zoom back into this one really quick as we take another look here at this thunderstorm. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. This one goes until 4:30 p.m. for winds of 60 miles an hour. So damage to roofs, to sidings, to trees, all possible in a cell like this. Now let's move over here to McClenny and Sanderson with this severe thunderstorm warning that just popped up too. This severe thunderstorm warning also for winds of 60 miles an hour. So once again, that can cause damage to roofs, to sidings, and to trees. McClenny, Glen St. Mary, Sanderson, all of you have that possibility of seeing this. Notice how it really just bubbled up quickly. So it's strengthening. And so this severe thunderstorm warning goes until 4:45 p.m. So 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now over Northeast Florida. Again, 1 for Sanderson, McClenny, 1 over downtown Jacksonville. Big picture shows us that we do have some thunderstorms moving towards Brunswick, Jekyll Island, St. Simon's Island. We also are still watching the rain down south that moved through St. Augustine, now Marineland and Palm Coast. You're getting that thunderstorm activity there. But again, our main focus are on these 2 severe thunderstorm warnings for wind gusts of 60 miles an hour. Getting some updates from the National Weather Service. Just going to check on them really quick to make sure I am not missing anything that they're saying. But all I see here is that, yes, these 2 severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect. 1 for the Columbia, Baker, and Union counties. That's the one that goes until 4:45 p.m. And the one in Jacksonville goes until 4:30 p.m. And main concern is winds, but They are saying there's the possibility of small hail associated with these storms. I don't see any signs on radar that we have hail out there. For instance, let me zoom in and show you what I usually look for. So when you're looking at the rainfall rates, you see red, that means very heavy rain. Sometimes it gets to a very dark red, almost like a black color, and that usually shows signs of hail on radar. You get into the science, I won't bore you with it right now, but that's generally when we start to see what we would see for hail, a cluster of very deep red to black on the radar, not seeing that. So I'm not saying that hail is impossible. We could get some small hail out of these storms. These are big thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms, but it was issued as severe for the possibility of winds of 60 miles an hour. Something else I'm going to check now, lightning. Let's get a look at the lightning counter because, again, so dangerous. The lightning is so dangerous. We have 228 lightning strikes associated with this one cell. 265, just updated. So 206. You can see it continues to move. So unfortunately, a strengthening storm, more and more lightning forming in this. Now the arms of this kind of extending out to Mayport, Fort Caroline area. Let's get a look at some of our cameras. I do have cameras across the city. So let's start here with I-295 west, north of US 1 and New Kings Road. Let's see here. It looked a lot worse, I will say, right before we went live. So at least conditions there getting a bit better. I'm gonna move closer to downtown. Let's see. Not too bad yet. You can see some of these dark clouds here. I'm gonna put this one up. I'm also going to go over and check out the Sanderson area, McClenny area with that thunderstorm that's moving in too. But we'll keep an eye on the skies here. Dark skies, strong storms out there. Let's see here. Another look at radar. Just go towards the Jacksonville airport. Oh, here we go. All right, so this is by the Jacksonville airport, Pecan Park Road, I-95, loading up right now. There you go. So you can see the rain coming down, some sheets of rain out there. And then we're gonna, let's go west, see what we can find. Along 295. So now I'm going to travel along 295 because the storm is moving in that direction, kind of pushing south, as we know, pushing all the way towards Mayport. So there, dark, creepy clouds, scary looking, a bit ominous. Here's a little bit up on 295, and it's already raining there. So on I-295, getting towards that I-95 interchange. Wet roads out there right now. Again, also watching out for the frequent lightning and, of course, the gusty winds. Here's a look at the Dames Point Bridge. Dark clouds you can see there, but I don't see rain. Yep, so dark, ominous, that's looking out towards Mayport. No, it's not. It's looking back. There we go. So it's looking back towards the airport, and you can see that's the thunderstorm that's moving in. The severe thunderstorm warning continues for Duval and Nassau. So they're just continuing this again until 4:30. That's when it does expire as of right now, but we're going to continue to watch it. Winds of 60 miles an hour possible within this cell. I'm going to pull backup radar for you all. Again, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings right now that we are tracking. One of them right over Jacksonville. We did have a report at the airport of winds of 51 miles an hour. Looks like we're getting another one. This wind report of 52 miles an hour. So that was at the airport as well. So very strong wind associated with this thunderstorm. Also check this out. So as we go over towards the other severe thunderstorm, look at how it's connecting. Do you see that line that's forming right to the north of I-10? So really lining up parallel with I-10, lightning flashing there. It's about to be a messy situation on I-10. So unfortunately, if you know anyone having to drive along I-10 right now, best have them pull over. You can see it's going to expand all across the interstate. And then, of course, on either side, from McClenny over towards Jacksonville, or Sanderson over towards Duval County, into the heart of Jacksonville, really towards downtown Jacksonville, it's rough. But you have the severe thunderstorm warning over Jacksonville, and then you have the severe thunderstorm warning over Sanderson and McClenny. Getting lots of updates from the National Weather Service, just keeping an eye on everything coming in. But what a messy situation. Both of these, winds of 60 miles an hour. That's why the severe thunderstorm warnings were issued, but also can't rule out some small hail. So this is a loop over the past 15 minutes. You can see it's really spread out over the airport, and then it's moving east. So it's pushing out towards the beaches. Might clip portions of Fernandina, it looks like, and south end of Amelia Island. And then also moving towards, not Cumberland Island, Talbot Island. Moving towards Talbot and towards Mayport. I'm going to zoom in a bit more on where all of this frequent lightning is. So right near the airport and to the east, tons of lightning, very heavy rain, gusty winds of 50. We had the gust of 52 miles an hour clocked at the airport, winds perhaps up to 60 miles an hour. So that's now moving along I-95, I-295. You can see on either side of 95, getting in on that heavy rain too, unfortunately. It's starting to close in towards downtown Jacksonville. So downtown Jacksonville, you're technically not in the severe thunderstorm warning, but it is moving your direction. I think I'm going to put another track on this. So again, this is moving southeast at 10 miles an hour. Okay, so Mayport, obviously it's moving in right now. Jack's Beach by 4:58 p.m., the worst of the storm, if it holds together at that point, the worst of the storm could reach Jack's Beach. So you see you have a few of those little showers out there already moving towards you over Neptune, kind of near Atlantic Beach. And then Southridge at 5 o'clock, Ponte Vedra at 5:28 p.m., and Palm Valley at 5:57 p.m. So if this holds together, those are some of the places that this could impact. Of course, also moving over the south side too. You can see there in the trajectory of this. Here at the station, I just heard some thunder. This is downtown Jacksonville, so we are now hearing the thunder from inside in an enclosed room here in the streaming center at First Coast News. Can already hear the thunder. I'm going to clear the screen here so we can get a better look at the cell itself. What a big thunderstorm. Oop, there we go. Updated radar loop. Notice that that line that parallels I-10 has become a bit more defined, more of a solid line now. It has officially connected to the other severe thunderstorm that's in McClenny. Also, of course, we've been watching the rain down here. Just got a report out of Fleming Island. 3 inches of rainfall fell total. So we had a little bit of back building, a little bit of stalling of rain over the past hour or so. And that created almost 3 inches of rain there near Fleming Island. So lots of rain. Watching out for the collection of water on low-lying roads. I'm going to go back towards I-10. We're going to keep an eye on our cameras out in I-10. So let me start by pulling up a camera for you all near Baldwin. I can see that there's rain now expanding over Baldwin. Here's a live look. Woo, dark and stormy with the rain moving in and closing in on I-10. Let's go over towards McClenny, get a look there at I-10 and mile marker 335. Dark cloud there moving in. Let's see. Head over towards Glen St. Mary exit. Again, it's on the way. Not seeing anything too concerning right now, but it's moving in. And then I'll take a look at the Sanderson cameras. Yeah, some slick roads it looks like already. It's already raining there. And then there's Sanderson too. Okay, now let's go back into Jacksonville. I'm going to go up to I-295 at Commonwealth Avenue, and there are raindrops on the screen. Let's see if it loads. Yeah, rough out there all along the interstates. I-95, I-295, I-10, all being impacted by rain right now as we are getting into the evening commute times. Let's go over to I-295 again, that one camera I showed you past 95. Yeah, rain, windy, again, wind gusts of up to 60 miles an hour possible within these cells. Continuing along I-295, and then I'm going to get to look at some of our downtown Jacksonville cameras. Jackson is in the background too. He's also keeping an eye on our cameras for me too, and he'll show us good cameras when we can see them too. Ooh, look at this cloud formation. Hold on. So that's I-295 at Heckscher, rough there. And then look at these dark clouds moving into I-95 at Union Street. So approaching downtown looks incredibly ominous. This is the sort of system where if it holds together, if it moves slowly, I would be concerned about some flooding again in those areas of Jacksonville that do typically flood, places like San Marco. So here's a look at your radar. Again, continuing to move to the southeast. The severe thunderstorm warning was expanded to include now downtown, the beaches, south side, so really encompassing a huge portion of Jacksonville. This severe thunderstorm warning, let's check this new information out. So this one goes until 5 p.m. So severe thunderstorm warning until 5 p.m. now across the Jacksonville area. Again, it's for winds of 60 miles an hour. It is moving to the southeast at 15 miles an hour. So we're going to put a new track on this cell here because it was moving at 10, they said. Now they say 15. So I'm going to retrack this. Looks like Duval also now under a flood advisory that we're just talking about the possibility of flooding. So here we go. So first let's put a track. Okay. Jackson said he's going to show you all our tower cam as this system and this storm moves in as well. So there you go. You can see the dark clouds starting to approach from the north, starting to shadow Everbank. So the timing of this, let me move this so you can see it on your screen with our double box. I'll put it over here. So South Jacksonville at 4:22 p.m., Yukon at 4:40, Sunbeam at 4:55 p.m., Ponte Vedra at 5:06 p.m., Palm Valley at 5:19 p.m. I'm also going to now check out our flood advisory, see what is included. Let me keep that up on the screen for you. And then okay. So this again, we also have a flood advisory for parts of Jacksonville. Trying to load my new information up. Here we go. The flood advisory is in effect until 6:15 p.m. And if I could get it to come up for you all. Thank you for bearing with me as I try to pull up all this information. All right, it looks like our flood advisory is covered up, which is interesting, but the flood advisory is up here. Here we go. It's really hard to see because it's getting taken over by the severe thunderstorm warnings, but I'll just clear the screen here because we have other severe thunderstorm warnings to talk about too. But just know that we do have a flood advisory for parts of Jacksonville, and then 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. One over Jacksonville heading out towards the beaches and south side, and then it's actually connected to our other severe thunderstorm warning, that line moving over I-10. Then we move over to McClenny and Glen St. Mary and Sanderson, and that's another severe thunderstorm that's moving into your area. It really continues, though, across northern Columbia County, too. There's the big picture of this system. So it's like this bowing segment that's pushing south, and we got some severe thunderstorms along it. Also going to keep an eye on these cells out here. Look at that. The severe thunderstorm has built back over Nassau County. So Yulee and Fernandina Beach and St. Mary's now, strong thunderstorm developing right over you. In fact, it looks like the National Weather Service has issued a special weather statement for this here until 4:45 for this building storm. So just know that we're all keeping an eye on that too, because that's strong. That has a lot of frequent lightning with it. Wind gusts of 40 miles an hour possible within that cell over Yulee and Fernandina and towards St. Mary's too, and Cumberland Island. Tower cam? Oh, look how scary that looks. It's so ominous. So I'm going to move that back over. That is a tower cam over Everbank, over downtown, where it is about to storm. You can see that on your radar right now. Look at that. Strong thunderstorm moving into downtown. All the lightning, though, off to the east. Not all the lightning. Let me rephrase that. Some flashes of lightning still moving into downtown, still very dangerous. But a lot of this lightning now pushing towards Fort Caroline area and towards the beaches, again, because it's kind of building north. So big, one giant system. This cell kind of connects with the rain and thunderstorms from Brunswick, Jekyll, and continues down through Fernandina, across Jacksonville, down I-10, over towards Sanderson, and starting to build a bit more over Columbia County too. So heads up Lake City, if it holds together and it moves more south rather than southeast, you could see some of that rain and thunderstorm activity as well. So it really is just, looks like a squall line, which along squall lines, that's strong winds. So I'm going to put a track on this entire system. Zoom you out a bit. Let's see. So if it holds together, it could be in Ponte Vedra at 5 o'clock. It could be in Green Cove Springs at 5:42 p.m. St. Augustine, again, you just had a severe thunderstorm warning. But if it holds together, this thunderstorm will make it to your area by 6:28 p.m., give or take a few minutes. Again, this is moving 10 to 15 miles an hour. So generally speaking, around 6:30-ish. St. Augustine Beach, 6:40-ish. Palatka, closer to 7:15. Okay, I am going to clear the screen and zoom back in towards Fernandina because I believe I just saw a hail report. Let's get in and look at that. Again, notice how this system has really developed over the past 15 minutes, just really formed over Yulee and Fernandina. Okay. Pea-size hail reported near Yulee in northeastern Nassau County as storms along the northern portion of the squall line strengthen as they approach Fernandina Beach. So there was hail reported in that cell there in Yulee heading towards Fernandina Beach. these are not only very strong storms for the risk of severe winds, but also for the hail. The hail possibility, the frequent dangerous lightning, and winds of 60 miles an hour. Let's get another count on the lightning. I'll first start with generally Nassau County and most of Duval County over the heart of Jacksonville. 421 lightning strikes. That 467 lightning strikes. So very strong storm. We hear the thunder here in downtown. You now see it on the live cam as it continues to move into our area. Now also, let's take a look at this severe thunderstorm warning. Let's get a count on this lightning. Look at that, all that lightning over towards Baldwin. So 146 lightning strikes in just this one area as it moves over I-10 right now as well. So these are very strong storms. Heavy rain, frequent lightning. And the main concern with these storms really is the damaging wind. Wind gusts of 60 miles an hour possible. I'm going to zoom back in. Let's see. Just almost over downtown. Almost there. Okay, let's get another look at the Dames Point. I'm going to pull up my cameras. Then give me 1 second to get it over towards the Dames Point Bridge. Ooh, looks rough. This is not the time to be driving out there. Woo! So that's the Dames Point Bridge, storming hard. Let's just continue along I-295 now too. Looks like we got some heavy rain here on I-295 right off of the Dames Point heading south. You can see the sheets of rain moving over. You can see the cars kicking up all that water. This is just another friendly reminder. I do this every time we track storms together. Yes, it is now legal to drive with your hazards on, but we advise you do not because it can be dangerous for a couple of different reasons. The raindrops can reflect off of your hazards and make it hard for people to see, kind of be a bit disorienting. So when it's flashing and reflecting, it can get difficult to see. It's already hard enough to see with the blinding rain, and then you add in those flashing lights. Another thing is if visibility is extremely reduced, people who have to pull over to the side of the road, if there's an emergency, turn on their flashers to let you know they're stopped. So if you're driving with flashers, then people might think everyone's driving with their flashers on and not realize a car is actually stopped. So it can put drivers in danger because it's already hard enough to tell what's happening. You can't really see if a driver stopped or just driving very slowly. So it's best to only use your hazards if you are actually stopped, so there's no confusion there and people know to go around if they see the hazards. All right, looks like our severe thunderstorm warning continues. Both of the severe thunderstorm warnings. Okay, this is for McClenny, Glen St. Mary's, and Sanderson. I'm going to pull back up the radar. And Jax, if you want to take that tower cam again too, now that it's moving into downtown Jacksonville, as we can see here. But again, over here, this is the severe thunderstorm warning that was just updated. So once again, we have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for 60 mile per hour wind gusts, McClenny, Glen St. Mary, and Sanderson. This is mainly for 60 mile per hour winds. But again, we have seen some hail develop in some of these cells. Wow, sorry, look at that tower cam. Wow, look at that leading edge of that thunderstorm. Spooky out there. We hear the thunder going here in downtown Jacksonville, and look at that dark cloud. So for Sanderson, Glen St. Mary, McClenny, this is moving southeast at 10 miles an hour still. So these wind gusts of 60 miles an hour, they can produce damage. They can knock off shingles, create some roof damage. They can also knock over tree limbs. They can make trash cans fly down the road. And if it's strong enough at 60 miles an hour, it can pick up objects and make them projectiles, which could come crashing through your window. So always good to just stay inside, stay away from windows, exterior walls, kind of treat it similar to a tornado warning in a way where you just try to get into an interior room, because winds of 60 miles an hour can produce damage. So this severe thunderstorm warning here goes until 4:45 p.m. Now let me go over to this severe thunderstorm warning. This one over the heart of Jacksonville, extending out towards the beaches. This severe thunderstorm warning goes until 5 o'clock this evening. This one is moving to the southeast at 15 miles an hour. The main concern, once again, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So same story goes for you, where you treat it similar to a tornado warning, where you want to get inside, away from windows with winds of, again, 60 miles an hour. So Fernandina Beach, you are getting that strong thunderstorm. Yulee had some small hail reported, so be aware of that, in addition to the heavy rain, the frequent lightning, and for you, gusty winds of about 40 miles an hour. And then the severe warned areas, that's where winds of 60 are possible. So now pushing into downtown, pushing onto the south side towards the beaches. So Mayport getting the rain, Neptune Beach and Atlantic Beach, slowly approaching Jax Beach, but crossing over Atlantic Boulevard now. You know, I do have a Mayport camera. Let's see if I can find that and show it to you. Well, here's the downtown Jacksonville time lapse. Why not? Let's take a look at that storm rolling in over the past 3 hours. Okay, it was hot and humid, then boom, look at that. Look at all, wow. Yep, so that thunderstorm just rolled into downtown. We're going to do the same in Mayport. So this is over the past 3 hours. It was a beautiful but hot day. Heat advisories in effect. A few little sprinkles here and there that we were tracking earlier on. And then the thunderstorm moves in. And that's what it looks like right now. Gray, dreary, heavy rain out there. I'm going to look at that. Here's just some of our cameras again. That's right off of Dames Point Bridge. Look at all the rain being kicked up out there too on the interstate, on I-295, right off of Dames Point. So back to the radar. Oh, was that severe thunderstorm warning expired? That'd be great. Let's check out what they have to say. Yes. They canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for Baker and Union and Columbia. So that's good news for all of you there. But those of you in Jacksonville, we still have this severe thunderstorm warning. And even those of you outside of the severe thunderstorm warning still, of course, getting strong storms from Fernandina over towards Baldwin and Sanderson all along I-10. So it's really a squall line. And with squall lines, you can have winds, damaging winds. So the severe thunderstorm warning is again for 60-mile-per-hour winds. And I'm going to put another track on this one here. This one is the one that's moving at 15 miles an hour. Here we go. Okay, so that means it could be at Jax Beach at 3:43 p.m. You got about 10 minutes. I just lost it. No, let's redo it one more time. But obviously, you know, if you're at the beaches, this is moving into the beaches. If it's not already raining where you are right now. Okay. So Jax Beach, yeah, about 10 minutes from now. Ponte Vedra, closer to 5 o'clock. Nocatee, closer to 5:20, 5:23. St. John's, 5:49 p.m. World Golf Village, if it holds together, 6:14. Sure, I'm keeping up with all these updates. So hail possible, but really it's those strong winds that we are really concerned with. Lots of thunder here right now downtown. Zoom back on in. So here's downtown, that live camera that you're looking at there in the corner of your screen. Right over here. I can hear the heavy rain starting on the roof now. So the leading edge, that leading cloud, so dark and ominous, and then it gets gross out there. So now the heavy rain moving into downtown, some of that rain now extending into Riverside and San Marco. We'll see how long it holds the big storm. It could lead to some water flooding again, some roads collecting water in San Marco that typically do collect water. Talleyrand, Brentwood, Royal Terrace, Grand Crossing, you all have that steady heavy rain. Frequent lightning moving near Newcastle, Yellow Bluff Fort, continuing to see all of that lightning too. We go down to 95 towards Gilmore. You have more of that heavy rain. And then as we continue to the south towards Sandalwood, some of that rain now starting to push into the Sandalwood area. Let's go back up here. Zoom us back in. Look at all of this heavy rain too, and frequent lightning still flashing. This continues near Dunn Creek, all around the airport, Shady Rest. And then as you get into Fernandina Beach, look at that rain overspreading Amelia Island, all up and down the road that leads you into Amelia Island, A1A, out through Yulee, and then take it out to I-95 too. You can see there. So then we go back out to the beaches. Exit the south end of Amelia Island, go on Heckscher Drive. Rain off and on there, but the heaviest of the rain, the worst of the rain, you can see about to move in, still not there yet. Still raining over Mayport, raining over places like Fort Caroline. You go down Atlantic Boulevard, that rain really starting to start near the Sandalwood area. You continue down towards the beaches, rain now moving into Atlantic Beach, closing in on Neptune Beach. All right, looks like we got some updates to our severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me zoom out, wait for these to come in. Okay. Got some reports to pass along to you all. So the severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 5 o'clock for north central St. Johns and southeastern Duval counties. That's what you're looking at your screen right now. The severe thunderstorm warning over portions of Nassau County, that was canceled. Storm report, there was a, let's see, where was this recorded? Passmore Court, so Ocean Way. There was rain. How much? 2.83 inches of rain in 1 hour. So again, very heavy rain can lead to the possibility of some flooding associated with this. Although Fernandina, you're not in that severe thunderstorm, whew, look at all of that lightning. I'm just going to do a lightning counter on just this one cell. 124 lightning strikes over Fernandina out towards Yulee. That's a lot of lightning for that one little area. Probably sounds like the 4th of July, but without the hot dogs. Dangerous wind with frequent dangerous lightning. And then we get into Jacksonville. There's your severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this goes until 5 o'clock. Winds of 60 miles an hour. It's moving southeast at 10 now, it says. So it slowed it down. So I'm going to do another track. Okay, so if this is moving at 10, we want to get a little bit closer. Oh, man. 10, not 15. Let's draw this track for you all now. Can hear the rain here in downtown. So if it's moving at 10 miles an hour, and keep in mind they keep going back and forth between 10 and 15, it's somewhere around there. So these times won't be exact. However, it's close enough to know when you need to be inside. Everything needs to be wrapped up by. So Ponte Vedra, 5:13 p.m. Palm Valley, 5:31 p.m. St. John's at 6:21 p.m. World Golf Village at 6:55 p.m. and St. Augustine at 7:28. So we already had all of that heavy rain and severe thunderstorm activity over St. John's. Also, I have not forgotten about you along I-10. Clear the screen here. So this is about to head into Oakleaf, looks like. So Sanderson, you're getting some bad rain out there. In fact, I'm going to go check out our cameras real quick along I-10. I'll show them to you. 1 second. Okay, so this is one near Baldwin. Fort Caroline has recorded 2.79 inches of rain. So that's Baldwin, really rough out there on I-10. Let's go over towards Fort Caroline. Here's a live look out at Fort Caroline, where again, we've had over 2 3/4 inches of rain. 2.79 inches of rain there. Heavy rain coming down. Mayport. Let's take a look at the rain situation there. Looked like it was like briefly stopping, but more rain on the way. Look at that. I love that container ship. You see it all the time. It's bright pink. Look at it go. Bye. I think it's one stork, but rough out there. You know, for smaller craft, not good to be out in storms like this with winds of 60 miles an hour possible. Gonna head back towards downtown because we hear the thunder booming. Wow, here's a look out over the skyline in Jacksonville. A little tough to see with all the rain. And then let's head this out as we head towards San Marco, which we're going to watch out for some street flooding in San Marco. Yep, wet roads there. So now raining over towards the San Marco area. Moving over towards 295 and Atlantic Boulevard, the rain moving in. Let's load this one up. Woo! Look at that pole moving back and forth. Just a sign of the wind that's associated with these. Let's go down towards Beach Boulevard. Traffic slowing down. Of course, we are really approaching that rush hour time. Which is not good. Okay. Not good to have rain during rush hour. Never good to have these storms. I'm going to go out towards the beaches, see what we can find here. So here's a look out in Neptune Beach. Dark cloud moving in. Look at the sea oats on the dunes flapping in the wind. The lifeguard has gone inside, evacuate the beaches. Looks like people are playing in the water. Not good. I'm going to change the camera because I hate to see that. There is lightning moving towards you. People were just struck on the St. Augustine Pier. Okay, we're going to go back to radar and show you what is moving in to that area right now. Oof. Yeah, it's there. Look at that. The lightning just flashed right over by the beaches. So right there in Neptune Beach, people are in the water. And there's lightning flashing. There's heavy rain More of this moving in behind. All of this strong storm moving towards Jax Beach. So again, off the beaches. So this is going to continue to move over the south side, Jax Beach moving in. In fact, I also have a Jacksonville Beach camera. Let's see if I can pull it up. Of course, now I can only find my Neptune Beach camera. Here we go. Let's take a look at the pier. See what people are doing out there in Jax Beach as that storm starts to approach. They're going to hear the thunder. Look at that. You can see the rain offshore too. And look at those dark clouds, a little bit of scud dripping down right where it says Jax Beach Pier on the banner. Looks like some low clouds, some scud. Look at the awning starting to flap. They got the umbrella buckled in. Evacuate the pier. Get off the pier. Strong storms moving in. Someone walking on the beach there. Get to your car. Alrighty. I'm going to check on Fernandina. Woo! Lots of heavy rain. It looks like the heaviest of the rain, this is a 15-minute loop. You see how it goes from red to yellow? So the heaviest of the rain starting to rain itself out, but it's still very steady rain. Just checking on my updates. Severe thunderstorm warning. Let's get a look at this. So it still goes until 5 o'clock. Here's the severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this is now pushing into the beaches, crossing over Beach Boulevard. So it has fallen apart some in the past 15 minutes. That steady line that was over I-10 also falling apart and weakening. So the trends are good here. So everything trending a bit better. There's a thunderstorm though that's north of Lake City. We'll keep an eye on that thunderstorm. Also, we got to go check on our friends in Southeast Georgia. They just had rain and thunderstorms move through. Still raining over Brunswick, St. Simon's Island, Jekyll Island. And then if this holds together, rain will be moving more into St. Johns County. We still have that steady rain from Green Cove to Palatka, more over Marineland and Palm Coast. But we'll watch out for this line of storms here to continue to push to the southeast. So I'm going to draw a track on this. Kind of moving like, kind of like this. Okay, so if this holds together, Ponte Vedra at 5:15 p.m., Green Cove at 6:31 p.m., St. Augustine at 7:49 p.m., St. Augustine Beach at 8:12 p.m., and Palatka at 9:09 p.m. This severe thunderstorm warning does go as of right now until 5 p.m. But just to let you all know who are watching, we're going to jump off the air here at 4:50. Get ready for our 5 o'clock newscast or 5 o'clock streaming. We have news coming up too along with the weather. So we're only on for a few more minutes, but the trends are looking better. I am happy to say that it's still a strong thunderstorm, and we still have that severe thunderstorm warning until 5 o'clock, but it has started to weaken a bit. The rain not as heavy. Still, of course, one of the most dangerous parts of a thunderstorm, the lightning, and there's a lot of lightning associated with this. Let's do another check of the lightning. Across the whole squall line, that's now broken, which is good, sign of weakening. Across the whole squall line now, about 224 strikes. Hey, that's good, that went down. So, still tracking all of that lightning out there. Just clear the screen here. The rain is heavy on the roof here in downtown Jacksonville. Jackson, what does that live cam look like now? Yep. I guess that's what you would expect. Gray skies, heavy rain. A heavy rain continuing over Fernandina, Yulee, down into Duval County, through Jacksonville, pushing into the beaches, and then along I-10 down through McClenny and Sanderson as well. It looks like they just canceled the severe thunderstorm warning. Please? Let me see. So now that the severe thunderstorm warning is canceled, I'm giving you a big look at what's happening because we do have our newscast coming up and you can watch where I will be tracking more of this. This one cell, not severe warned, but still moving to the southeast. In fact, let me take this off a 15-minute loop and put in a 30-minute so you can see the general direction a bit better. Something else that I will be tracking as we head into the evening would be more storms on the way out towards I-75 later on tonight. Also look at these storms to the north. So Waycross looks like more storms about to move towards you. Gonna quickly zoom on in here and see this one. Maybe the Patterson area. So again, more thunderstorms moving into Georgia. So lots of weather to track. We are going to jump off air here now because we're going to get ready for the newscast, but I'll be tracking this weather for you throughout the night. By the way, our weather impact alert has been extended until 8 p.m. for these thunderstorms. So again, until 8 p.m., thunderstorms creating some dangerous situations out there on the roads. So our weather impact alert goes until then. We will be bringing you much more with all of our evening newscasts. I will see you over there.
Only our local community, but the military as well. And number one thing, of course, is being on your side, keeping you safe with your most accurate forecast. So make sure you download that First Coast News app, and also you can stream our newscast on First Coast News FCN Plus, as well as any severe weather or special weather coverage as well. I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta, First Coast News, on your side.
Hello, folks. I'm meteorologist Ross Mumo, and it's hard to believe we are already halfway through the year 2025, now into the month of July. Let's take a quick look at what some of our averages are for the month of July, specifically here in the Jacksonville area. Typically start off the month in the low 90s with an average high of 91 and an average low of 73. That really doesn't change much by July 31st. Average high of 92 and an average low of 74. So typically one of our hottest months of the year here in the Jacksonville area. Our average rainfall ends up to be right around 6.77 inches of rain in the Jacksonville metro area. So typically also one of our rainiest months. Our hottest July temperature ever on record was set at 104 degrees. Meanwhile, our coldest July temperature was just a measly 61. For First Coast News, I'm meteorologist Ross Mumal on your side.
It is going to be hot, and I'm talking even before the sun comes up on a Monday, but now that the sun is up, temperatures skyrocketing to those upper 90s yet again. So for perspective, Friday we hit 95, Saturday we hit 99, Sunday 98, and for Monday we'll be at 97 degrees. With those dew points, meaning higher content levels of moisture in our atmosphere, we could expect to see heat index values up and over 108. So don't be surprised if you're seeing heat index numbers hit 110, and that's at that dangerous level. Therefore, National Weather Service has put in a heat advisory for Monday. That would be from noon until 6 p.m., and we have a weather impact alert in place for that level. But there's a couple levels on a Monday. Just Monday, we've got the heat advisory in place, but then by the afternoon, we have a better chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Certainly the rain will help moderate our temperatures a bit as we go through the afternoon once we hit those highs. But then we're going to be dealing with widespread rain right around that evening. Commute time could impact those evening plans. So between the heat and the showers, we certainly have a pretty impactful day, don't we? Well, we'll keep the weather impact alerts in place for Tuesday, Wednesday. Got a coastal trough set up. That's going to mean more moisture in the atmosphere, more chances of rain as we go into our Tuesday, Wednesday. So we'll be watching out for those widespread showers. Things begin to taper off. Thursday, still have those rain chances. Friday and the weekend, though, as we look towards the end of the work week and our next weekend, while it will be hot, we're going to take those rain chances down just a bit, looking at current modeling. Out in the Atlantic, about 800 miles to the east of the Lesser Antilles, we are watching an area from the National Hurricane Center, a 20% chance of development over the next 7 days. But as this area moves closer and closer to the Caribbean, going to run into some unfavorable conditions when it comes to further development and modeling, suggesting it will fizzle out. So there's a look at your forecast now. Briefly, I am First Coast News Chief Meteorologist Louis Turner.